How are you guys?
Julius, just what were your impressions of Blake when you guys met up in California for those 3 or 4 days?
Oh, my first impression was, man, he's about as big as me. And I walked up on him, I was like, man, there must be another tight end out here warming up his shoulder. But no, it was it was great going out there and starting to build that chemistry. He can make any throw. That ball's on the line. It gets there in a hurry, and it takes a long time to get good rapport. As far as him understanding how I run routes, I'm understanding the way he throws, how quick to get my head around, all that kind of stuff. But it was definitely a good start, and looking very much forward to building from there.
Is a ball, or is there really, when you're running a route, is there a dramatic difference in seeing what Peyton Manning did, knowing where that ball is going to be compared to the limited time that you've spent, catching passes from Blake?
Well, I mean, a football is just a football, no question about that. I mean, the weight is very particular, as we've figured out this last year. So there will be very identical footballs, no question. But I think that it does take a little bit of time to get used to someone else throwing the football. Whether it's the throwing motion, the speed of the ball, the trajectory, all of it. In a receiver's, tight end's mind, it changes. So I got to get used to the way he throws the ball, no question, just like he has to get used to the way I cut, the way I break, my speed in and out of breaks. So a lot more goes into it than just two guys going out there playing catch. But it's still just a football, no question.
When you signed, Mercedes was still obviously here and everything. You said you were looking forward to possibly being his teammate, and you knew him previously and stuff like that. He's obviously taken a pay cut. It looks like he might actually be here. The two tight end set, is that something that you were intrigued by to kind of see what that could look like with you on one side?
Yeah, I actually caught up with Mercedes in March after I signed, and I just told him, I don't know what's going to happen. But, I would really enjoy playing with you, and I would look forward to it. He's a veteran that's done well in this league and can definitely learn some things, and I think we complement each other well. Two tight end sets have proven to be successful in this league. I've done that situation before and did a lot of 12 personnel things, and I think that, we can really pose some problems for defenses out there together. And I'm definitely looking forward to having him as a teammate and a veteran in that tight end room.
There wasn't obviously a lot you could teach Peyton, but what can you teach Blake Bortles?
I don't know. I think that I don't know much about the quarterback position. I'm not gonna to lie to you or say anything like that, but I know what it's like to be in a lot of different situations. I've had a ton of experiences. I've been able to play around a handful of guys that are going to be Hall of Famers, whether that be Champ Bailey, Brian Dawkins, Peyton Manning, DeMarcus Ware. I mean, the list goes on. So I've learned things from these guys that have helped me in my career. And anything that I can do to help Blake, whether it be on the field, off the field, I'll definitely share that with him. As far as, being in one of the most prolific offenses ever, I've learned a lot of stuff from that, what it takes in preparation, what it takes in mindset and practice, how many times you got to go through it, that diligence to be very efficient. Those are the kind of things that I have experience with, and I'll share and do anything to help as an offense understand of, this is what maybe we did is be successful. It doesn't mean everybody has to do it that way, but if Blake says, hey, what was something you guys did to be successful? Or Ole says, hey, what did you guys do in this situation? Or maybe a tackle, it doesn't matter. I'll say, okay, this is something we did. I mean, by no means am I going to try to tell Blake how to play quarterback.
Your numbers took off when Peyton arrived. So what's one thing that you learned from Peyton?
I've learned a lot from Peyton, no question, as far as, identifying defenses, different ways of kind of scheming and tricking the defense a little bit. You know, we did a lot of hand signals. We did a lot of dummy hand signals, that kind of stuff. As far as, you know, trying to be available for the quarterback. Different things you got to remember in the quarterback's mind when you're running your route. Finding ways to be quarterback friendly. So all those, the Peyton has taught me a lot of things about football in that aspect. And those are things that I get to have with me for the rest of my career.
I know you're not really old, obviously. You're still in your mid-20s, but you get around all the guys today. Did it strike you that, wow, I'm one of the older guys on this offense? There's a lot of young guys.
No, it hasn't caught up to me or clicked just yet. You know, it's kind of hard to get that feeling this soon. But, you know, when you look at it as in terms of seasons in the league or snaps played, and when we get out and we're working and we're on the field, then you may get that feeling of, wow, I've been doing this a little bit longer than some other guys. And that's something that I'm excited for. I think it's a great responsibility to have experience and be a veteran and be able to be there for guys to lean on, be there to help young guys come along, or be even like I said with Mercedes, you know, I'm excited to have another veteran that's played help me. Like, I by no means know it all, and so maybe not so much yet, but I am looking to kind of have that veteran experience and share knowledge just as those that have done it for me in my career.
So there's a month and a half ago, how much did you look forward to this day, getting here, meeting guys, and sort of starting?
You know, it's exciting. Like you said, you know, I've been signed for a month and a half, and, you know, I haven't had a ton of time to be around the guys. You know, you don't really get to form those bonds, those relationships, get to know your teammates until you're with them day in and day out. And that's probably the most exciting part of this year's offseason for me is, you know, I got to learn and get to learn a new group of guys. I look forward to building that chemistry as an offense, learning a new offense. You know, that's all exciting. So I definitely have been looking forward to getting going.
As much as you learned and benefited from having Peyton, is there a part of you that is also annoyed by people who say that, well, yeah, Thomas put up better numbers, but look who he had as the quarterback? How much do you look forward to kind of maybe proving a little bit of that wrong as your career moves forward?
Well, you know, I don't think it really irritates me at all. I mean, you find whoever you want in the record books. If you were catching passes, you had to be catching them from somebody who was very good. And you know, the best thing for me is, you know, I'm hoping that 5-6 years from now they go, well, you still weren't any good. You caught passes from Peyton, and now you caught passes from Blake. You know, those guys did all the work. You just ran around at 6'5" and stuck your hands out, and the ball just stuck to it. So, you know, I can't really put too much into that. It is what it is, and I'm looking forward to doing what I can to help this team and make big plays.
You guys were in the same division, same side of the ball, but Wisniewski, do you have any thoughts on what he brings to the offense?
You know, I'm not too familiar with him, you know, just to be honest. You know, I see his name on the back of the jersey, but, you know, when the offense is out there, you know, we're talking and we're scheming, we're making sure we're ready for that next series. So I didn't really get to watch much of his tape, but I think that it said something that Ole was comfortable with him coming here. You know, they have a relationship, and he knows that he can do the job we need at center and up front. And, you know, that's a vote of confidence. And to have him here back with the offensive coordinator that he was with last year shows that the OC believes in him.
You left the playoff team for 2.5 playoffs in a while. How do you feel about that?
You know, I think that it's kind of good. You know, you got that chip on your shoulder. People say, oh, well, they haven't made the playoffs. Well, you know, when I was 14 years old and I went to Tokay High School, they had never won a section championship. They weren't a top 10 ranked team in Division I, but when I left, we'd accomplished that. And I went to college and I say, why Portland State? You know, it doesn't make much sense. Why go there? They haven't won. You know, 2 NCAA tournaments later, now all of a sudden they're a pretty good school. Well, why not go there? And I think that's the same thing now is in life, you know, I'm not going to make my decisions based on what's happened in the past. You know, it's all about in the future. It's all about what we can do. You know, this group of guys on this team, they've never been here before. They'll never be here after. Every year, it's an individual year. You got to go after it. You got to attack it. What we're building here as a team is exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this league, every team, goes to the playoffs and a couple years out of the playoffs. Every team is good. Every team is so close. It's what are you going to do to make that step to get over the hump? And, it happened in Denver. They hadn't been a playoff team before I got there. Not to say it was all me by any means, but it's just it can always change that quickly. And you can go from being a perennial playoff team to out of the playoffs in a heartbeat as well. So this league, that's what makes it fun about this league, and that's how competitive it is. And that's why I'm excited to call myself a member of the NFL.
All right. Thank you.
You guys have fun.